Stace.
Grand Rising.
Good morning.
Good morning, Queen Kinshasa.
Good morning, Queen.
Grand Rising, beautiful people.
I thank you for that message.
Grand Rising and welcome. Grand Rising Facebook family. Facebook family, thank you for joining Grand Rising for everyone who's in the space. Grand Rising. Hello, 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 and welcome. While you all get situated and come into the space, you can grab some water. You can have a pen and a paper, definitely, so that this way you can continue to take notes or any information, even though at the end you'll be able to click in my link and then get more info. So, yay. Good morning. As you all enter the space, you will have to unmute yourself if you say something. Grand Rising.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning?
Hello, Brother Adam. I'm grand. How are you, brother?
Every day is a good day.
Yep, every day is a good day. If we all woke up like that, every day is a good day, and woke up and was like, boom, every day is a grand day. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Yes, Z. Ashe, Ashe.
Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings,
Grand
Stacy.
Rising, Teresa. Grand Rising. Grand Rising, everybody. You can grab a pen and a paper. You can have some water. You can grab essential oils. Anytime you're in a session with me, you can grab essential oils. It's always healing going on, no matter what the topic is. Grand Rising. Hello, Facebook family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to day 574 of Wake Up Everybody virtual community. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Facebookers. Come on in.
Great morning and grand rising all.
Grand Rising. Grand Rising. Thanks for being here, being in this space.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, release dancing, we're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning, we're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Grand Rising, everyone. How is everyone today? Great to see you. I'm making sure that I can see everyone here. Grand Rising, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, for being in the space. Day 574 for Autism Awareness Month. April is Autism Awareness Month, as we know. If you've been on since last week, I've been on since last week. And also today, so 2 days last week and then today. So these are one of my favorites that always pop up, which is April is Autism Awareness Month. Every day is Autism Awareness Day in our home, and that is my goal, for that to happen across the globe, across the universe, that it's not only today or this month that is dedicated to autism awareness, but that is actually ongoing, present in our lives every day, every month. And it's not only just about autism, but also for anything that we're dealing with life. Like when we bring awareness to Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, that's something we have breasts, everyone, right? To be aware of every month, every day. So bringing that in, and all of the different, there's so many, it goes on and on, right? So thank you for being here and being in the space. So first though, we're gonna just put what my beautiful admin Denise will put in the chat. Oh, we'll have what our first question is for everyone this morning. And yes, or so were we able to drop the first question in?
Yes, if you learned something about autism from last week to this week, please put it in the chat.
Yes. So, and I asked people from, like, if you learned anything about autism from last week and then this week, is because I charged you all to actually find out more, do some research, look things up and say, oh, okay, you know what? I actually found some more things that I didn't know, finding out things that I didn't know. So if there's anybody who actually did find out something that they didn't know, or what they researched and found, or actually did some of that digging, you can raise your hand actually, if there's anyone in the space who would like to give a 1-minute share about what they learned over the week. Or something that, if you wasn't in the space last week and you're here this week, what is something that you actually know about autism or autism awareness, and you can share with us?
Okay, Stace. First thing in the morning, people were thinking. So I just shared that what I've been learning is that autism looks different from person to person. No two individual with autism will have the same symptoms or have the same capabilities or different abilities. And each one should be treated and handled as an individual. You can't just lump them all in one bucket and be like, you're all autistic and this is how we treat you. You have to treat each one as an individual as they are.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's so perfect, Tiffany, for just bringing that in the space, because that's so true. As we've learned, that when you know one person with autism, you know one person with autism. autism affects us and affects the person who has autism in three different categories, which is, well, it's the main three categories. It affects them across the board, period. However, there is neurologically, there's socially, with communication, and repetitive behavior. So it's those areas. So if you think of it almost even like a scale, which is what one of my lovely friends who have children on the spectrum of autism explains. I like how she put it. She said like a dial. What I thought of is like the old school radios when you could pull down the treble, you could put up the bass, and then you could pull down something else. So thinking about it the three different ways, like somebody may be, like I told you all before, pretend that I'm the spectrum, right? This right hand is mild, where my head is at is moderate, and that where this left hand is at can be severe, right? So it's along the spectrum. So along this spectrum, where people fall in the category can be anywhere. It can be very mild. It can be at the tip of my finger, like, oh, tiny bit. Then it could come anywhere like, oh, between mild and moderate to severe, oh, severe. So being in that big space. So when you are affected in different areas, you have the social component. So someone who can fly through high school because they have the capability to stay in a general ed program, they can do that and be in high school, have the work, and maybe just go through high school with the paraprofessional where they don't need to have that much special attention. And then on a social component, they are very awkward, and that person may be very awkward in society or out and about and don't know how to cope with overloaded sensory or being out with people. But over here, they are, very mild in the word that a lot of people would say, which is high functioning. However, like I said, I was in a space, and some autists does not like to be referred to as high functioning. So just like very mild on the spectrum, but so there's different components. And then when I say repetitive behavior basically means that things that you do over and over and over again. So there are things that even now to this day, I watched my son who's 17, and even though he doesn't, he still likes to watch the same shows, and he could watch them over and over again, like, oh, you want to watch this again tonight? Oh, you want to watch this again? It can be that way, but then also I hear him listen to his music, and he may have it set up where it's looped in this one space from one part of the song. And I'm like driving for 15 minutes. I'm like, wait, how I'm still hearing it? Are you still, what are you doing? Like, if you listen to the song, he's like, oh, sorry, he said that the other day. Sorry. And I was like, actually, you don't need to be sorry. I mean, that's the way you're listening to whatever you're listening to. So, yep, great. And then our next question that we have, and did anybody type anything in the chat of what they learned? Even if they didn't speak, did anybody actually put something in the chat?
Yes, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly.
Kinshasa, you say Shasha. Kinshasa.
Autism is not a handicap. The person is simply capped on another way. They are often gifted in a different manner, which also coincides with something additionally I shared, that autism looks different from person to person, does not limit success. There are famous people who are successful who are on the spectrum, and such are speculated that Albert Einstein and even Elon Musk are and were on the spectrum.
And actually, Deetra had her hand up earlier, right before Tiffany spoke. I don't know if you want to call her into the space.
Deetra Devon?
Yes.
Hi, Deidre, are you there? Do you want to come off mute if you're in the space?
I don't see her now. There she is, we're moving. She may be having audio issues because she's unmuted,
Yeah.
but we can't hear if she's
Oh.
speaking. Deidre, if you want to come out and come back in or put it in the chat, we'll share what you wanted to add into the space.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to the next question is, what are some ways in which we can support autists, neurodivergent individuals, people who are on the spectrum? What are some ways in which we can support them? So if anybody knows, even those individuals or even their families. So yeah, so remember everyone, this is our session, short and sweet, 7 a.m. to 7:30. So you rolled out of bed this morning so that you can be a part of the community, be contributed to, and also be a contribution. Right? Because we all know that, Wake Up Everybody is not a TV show. It's all about participation. I can say class participation, but we're not in the class. So if you can come off your camera, great. If you want to come off of mute, but be in the space so that we get the energy flowing. Yeah, so that we are just ascending and transforming together, right? As we do on Wake Up Everybody. So did anybody put anything in the chat? If not, then I'm going to move to the next question.
Well, Stacy, there's nothing in the chat, but Teresa just raised her hand. Teresa, do you have a
Yes, hi.
We had the
Good
question.
morning, I'm Stacy. How you doing?
Good
Peace and
morning,
blessings.
Teresa. How are you?
Thank you for just bringing up this subject because
She's on
it's a
she's on
blessing.
mute. And did you have
Hello,
the question,
yes,
Teresa?
I'm here. Yes, what I wanted to say is that thank you for bringing up this subject because I think for me, I know someone who has a grandchild, possibly two people who has autism, and I never realized like for the parents is like I want to say kudos to y'all who's dealing with this because it's got to be challenging, to have to handle what you're handling with responsibility and actually how the public might handle your child. So it takes a lot of courage and how you're fighting for your child. The other thing what I want to ask is that I don't know any information, but it's like do I think if I had a child, it's like where does this gene, is this something that is hereditary? Like how does this why does this happen to a child? Like
Well,
why does
that's something that we discussed or touched a little bit on last week. So what that is that's why there's the puzzle piece. So like
okay.
autism, actually, that when you see that, and I explained before what the puzzle piece is. So a puzzle piece is because basically that it's puzzling. It can be from different places. Some people say that it's from genetics. Some people may say, oh, if this happened after they experienced their child having autism after vaccine. Some people say that it came from something that different foods, because there's something different foods, and with gluten and with casein also that can be that can give the look or the characteristics of autism, and if it's not treated, then they will maybe have that as a diagnosis until that is treated. So it can come from different places. So yeah, so what I had asked also, if you wanted to answer that, is what are some ways in which we can support autism or neurodivergent people or their family? So since you know somebody in the family who has a child that's on the spectrum, do you have any way where you learned or anything that you can do to support them or that you can take on like newly right now?
One of the things that I with the person is that I've just told them that that I would love to be a lot more patient with her child, because sometimes the child is aggressive, and I didn't understand it, and then we was at some place, and the child just did something that was dangerous to me, and so I just it just changed my whole mentality, because I did not know that her grandchild, the seriousness of what that person was dealing with. So it did change my attitude about how I saw the person not being graceful, and just looking at it as that it could be my son or my grandchild. So I have to be a lot more loving and patient, and just try to encourage him as much, and just be patient with him, because I just said he just was bad or whatever, but that wasn't it. He was dealing with autism, when I first found out about it. It changed my whole mindset. So just changing our mindset about how we deal with I say special needs people, period, or kids, whatever, adults. Just be patient with everyone because you don't know what no one is dealing with. And so it could be you. So just to be careful how we handle people. And that's what I got to say. And I'm complete.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So what you're taking on as support, what I'm hearing is that you can actually be more patient and more understanding, more mindful, and bringing that to yourself. And then, then that can actually be a support for others. So thank you so much for sharing that, Teresa. And is there anyone else, anybody else have their hands up?
Yes.
Kinshasa has her hand up.
Hello, lovely. How are you, Queen?
I'm so good, thank you. I think that whenever we are able to dissolve some of our own ignorance about situations, it helps us in our relationships with others. As we learn more about others, then we also tend to drop some of our own stereotypes, so that just the information and the learning is very important for our participation in their development. Because I know personally a family that has autism in it, and they're absolutely fabulous people. I know the son is a very dynamic human being. I know that he's fun. I know that he loves my dog Fudge, who is a 14-year-old Labrador Retriever, and we have a blast. They've been out to my summer home, and I love them very, very dearly. And it's actually a beautiful, handsome, good-looking, and as a matter of fact, you wouldn't know unless someone told you that he was autistic, because his mama is so fabulous in terms of helping him through any issue. That is my understanding. And I know that I myself have grown in my relationship with them. And even though I am a psychologist and a therapist and have been for many years, and I've treated autistic children, I know that as you open them up to their possibilities, and as you open up to yours, it makes for a much more beautiful experience for everyone.
Amen. Let's take a deep breath in with that. Thank you, my beautiful friend. I would tell people this is my eldest friend. She's the eldest person on this line. I don't have to ask anybody's age. And I'm telling you, she will run circles around anybody half her age, as I'm almost half her age. So anybody who's half her age, she is phenomenal. So thank you so much, Kinshasa, and Josh loves you too, and fun. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And yes, and even our next question, what we have up for everyone that's in the space, that's in the place, and thank you again for being here. Wake Up Everybody family. Is there anything from Facebook? Are our Facebookers on this morning?
Facebook is all on. No comments yet.
Okay, hi Facebook. Is there anything that you are taking on that you learned about autism? And even if you didn't, you feel like, nope, I didn't, nothing wrong. What are you going to take on today? And then we can put our have our next question, which is lovely Denise will put in the chat. You're looking quite lovely, Denise. I'm gonna go make sure that I look as good as you look today. I'm gonna try. Yes, everyone. So taking this on as a community, it's a beautiful thing, being in a space where we can learn, where we can transform together. And something that Kinshasa said was like, even in taking on, even as she's been a psychologist for years, like not ever thinking or knowing like, oh, I've done it all. I'm at the mountaintop. I do this work. I already know. Because I can say that I'm a mother. I already know. I learn something new every day because things are always transforming, especially speaking to people directly who have autism or who's faced with challenges. Hearing it from their perspective is totally different. So it's always something to learn. I would say never think you know it all. To always be a student.
So, Stacy, we do have from Facebook, Kaisha. She says, as a supporter, I can teach my daughter to be more accepting to other students who are autistic.
That's beautiful, Kaisha. And I always stop to take a breath because there were so many times we're rushing just to speak and to move along. And it's within the breath where we get to actually hold the space for ourselves, for others, and really just take that and receive that. I receive that. And that's a beautiful thing to be able to teach your children, even if you don't know that much about it. We have Google these days. It's not like we have to go get encyclopedias and say, oh, we got to get to the library or borrow my neighbor's encyclopedia. I only have the A, who has an E or something like that. We can Google it and to show up for your children and support. So whoever is on here who have children, grandchildren, or no children, even for this month and beyond, but you can actually speak to them and say, you know, I learned something about autism today. Do you know any children with autism? How do you treat them when you're at school? How do you treat them in the neighborhood? How about you start thinking about putting yourself over there where they're at and bringing mindfulness and compassion, if you haven't been already, to that space? What would that look like? And ask them, what would that look like for them? That could open up a world for them, you know? So awesome. And do we put our last question? Oh, I'm sorry, Teresa. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and she was also saying whether she knew they were autistic or not, that she's really been teaching her daughter how to becoming friends with other students that may be sitting alone or by themselves, and just becoming friends to them as well, just to brighten their day.
That's great. And something that just reminded me of is when we lived in California, and Joshua went to a school and it was called James McBride. And in this school, there were children, I'm going to say up to maybe 7th grade, 6th grade. And this is when Joshua was in pre-K, we started. And the school had such a wide range, and he was always in the blended class. I will always have the blended class. So they had peer models. So let's say they had 4 peer models of pre-K, which wasn't on the spectrum, which was your typical child. And then you still had children who was on the spectrum, nonverbal, children who had wheelchairs, children who had different disabilities or challenges, I would say, even physically. So being in that environment and growing up to see, wow, everybody is different. It's not just like a world we live in where everybody's quote normal, unquote, that we're just like, oh, so we have to fit in. And if you're in this space with different people, you're like, no, this is all over. Like we're all totally different and it just brings you to a space of like, oh, that person doesn't have a left leg. What that must be like. And how could I move through the world with one leg? So it just brings mindfulness. I think that's something that's really awesome. It just brings mindfulness to the space. So yes, thank you. And our last question, you had placed it already about some, I forget.
What are some things that they recently learned that you will implement in your life regarding autism?
Okay, got it. Which is kind of like what the other question is. So what are some things recently that you learned that you can implement or you will implement in your life regarding autism that maybe you learned last week or this week? You can type that in the chat if there's anything you want to put there.
All right. So Stacy, Anna Palmer had put, we have to be careful of foods like red dye and sugars. These affect their behavior. We have to adjust the way we discipline them. We have to understand that they scream out due to loud sounds that irritate them. They will cover their ears or may run away. So understanding their triggers, I'm guessing is what she's saying, is important.
Thank you, Anna. That's so amazing. And thank you for saying that. Is Anna able to, is she in Facebook or in this space? She's here. Anna, are you able to come off mute for a minute?
Yes, good morning. I'm sorry, I'm still a little sleepy. Yeah, my grandson is autistic. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, beautiful. You're still looking lovely. How are you, dear?
I'm good. Yeah, it's that you have to observe their behavior And there's a lot, I'm sorry, my TV's up. There's a lot that triggers them. And if they get overstimulated with sugar, they're more hyper. So we have to really try to curb their diet. And sometimes autistic children will rock in place. So I can't find my remote. 1 second.
Yeah, that's
Too
fine.
loud.
Because I
Hold
know
on.
and getting that, like what you said, that's something that to be mindful of. So that's great. So we can take that on that as a way of mindfulness. Like even if you know someone who has autism or have that, and then sharing that with the parent, not as a thing that they have to do, but just like, oh, this is something you can look into.
Yeah, but spanking them doesn't really help. Sometimes I see parents react to the behavior and it makes it worse, because they think they can control them by spanking, but you have to discipline them a little differently than, I wouldn't say you say a normal child, but because they can have a very adverse reaction. When you spank them, sometimes they become violent.
Got it. So
So,
how can you take that on into supporting the people that you know with autism? What you just said, what is something that you can simply just offer to them as a support?
well, sometimes but you have to make sure the space is safe for them because they'll hurt themselves.
Right. So I'm
If they
asking you
get too upset. So,
what way you can support. But knowing this, because you know some of this, right, about some children with autism, not all, but some children. So how can you use that as a support for the people that you do know or just in your community? What is something that you can do as an action? And you might not know yet, but I'm just asking, that was the question, like if there's something that you could.
I have to think about that. But
yeah,
I had to take a course on how to deal with difficult children because we didn't know how to discipline him. And we would put him in the corner and he would bang his head on the wall. So then it was like, well, how to, so I had to learn some skills on how to deal with his behavior. So taking any kind of training, you have to be extremely patient, and you got to make sure the environment isn't triggering the child. So you have to know the child's triggers and understand, because sometimes my grandson would crawl into small spaces and, it just seemed strange. We didn't understand him, so you just have to, and that's when he was emotionally upset. So after a while, he would calm down and he would come out. But you can't like pull the child out. You can't force them to do things because it makes it worse.
Got it.
So, sometimes I learned you have to ignore bad behavior, because if you give into it, then the child knows that he can control you or she can control you with their behavior. So some of it you have to ignore, but some of it, if it's too dangerous, you have to address.
Got it. Thank you, Anna, because Anna's speaking from her experience and with her grandson. And what I like what she said, which is what I had asked, how can you support? So, which is great, even for her saying, well, I can think about that, which shows that she is able to stop and think and expand. So we can all have a space of expansion where we can actually stop and say, wow, I'm going to see what else I can do to take on for this month, because it's Autism Awareness Month and Acceptance Month, but also beyond this month, but just even starting from today. You don't have to think about further out, even if that may overwhelm you. So give yourself some space and love to say, oh, well, you know what, I'm going to learn something new today. And that support is imperative just for parents, just to let them know that you're there with them. Or, hey, how can I learn? What can I do? Maybe I can take a class on just how to deal with people who have mental challenges, who have different needs, because it makes a difference, because then you can deal with the child or the person from their symptoms and their characteristics and not just think that it's a behavior. Because a lot of times in our society, people just think, oh, this is a bad child. They're acting up. They're throwing themselves on the floor. What is going on? And oh, if that was my child, I'll beat they blah, blah, blah. And that's not the case, because that is not actually helping. That is, you have them not being open and be able to express themselves, or even they're going to do it anyway. And then you're the one who's left reactivated over here. So it's just really important to get those things for yourself. So thank you so much for sharing that. What I wanted to add to say this morning are some things we can do, of course, is to be kind, to be mindful, speak to people the way that you want to be spoken to, like as if you had a special need or a challenge, which was amazing when I got to speak to Adam last week and ask him, how would he like to be addressed? Don't just assume. And don't think that the person doesn't have the wherewithal or the capability. They can answer you, then they can and they will. And if they can't, then they won't. Or maybe they have an advocate who can help them or who can speak for them. You can empathize, like I said, by putting yourself in someone else's shoes. So we are going to close out with a meditation, a 5-minute meditation. So because there's always space for healing. I am a Pranic healer. I'm a lifestyle coach, a yoga instructor, and of course, an autism advocate. So everything that we do, everything that we have requires another level of transformation. If who we're taking on in the world is us as ascending and transforming as a people, as a community, or in the universe. So it's just taking ourselves to the next level. And healing has everything to do with it. Everything, every minute, everything, every day. If there's a pain in your body, wake up and say, oh, I am healed. You can send yourself some good love, some energy. So shifting the energy. So energy work is just something that works out really well for people who that's on the spectrum of autism. And those are some things that I wrote down. And then you can put in the chat or even think for yourself, what are some things I can do to support this individual? So one thing I have was super brain yoga. And I've done that before here with the group, and you don't have to get up. I'll show you what super brain yoga is you're actually just connecting both your left and right brain hemisphere. So when you do super brain yoga, you actually take your left thumb and place it over the right earlobe, fingers behind it, right thumb on top of the opposite earlobe with the fingers underneath, if you can see, and then the arms across. And what you do is you breathe. So you're leaning, you're not tilting, you're just doing just like a squat. And you're breathing. And what you do is you do that for about 2 minutes every morning. That used to be on my son's routine list in the morning before breakfast, that he did that. Because what it actually does, and anybody can do that, what it does is it balances the left and the right brain hemisphere. So it's just good for bringing in calm. And a lot of teachers do this with their students. So if you're in the educational field and you haven't heard of it yet, that's something that would be great in classrooms in the morning. Hello, everybody, let's do super brain yoga. It's not limited to children with autism or special needs. Everyone benefits from it. So that's something that you can also have. So I said meditation is something that helps. Essential oils, my son has his own essential oils. He loves lavender. It's very calming. Fir balsam, we have a lot because I also have a training with oils and healing oils. So there's different ones for different, that work specifically on different chakras as well. And he knows that. Pranic healing, which is something I do as a form of energy medicine, which is cleansing your aura, your auric field, your chakras. You have different chakras that are correlated to different organs and parts of your body. Everything starts energetically first in our energetic field. Before it comes in and sets in physically, it's there energetically. So pranic healing is a beautiful form of having that cleansing, and you don't have to be in front of the person. I don't have to see you. I could work on you if you're in India, Africa. It's energy. So pranic healing is great. Sensory toys and products. Some children have, like my son was getting his hair washed and blow dried the other day from somebody new. And I know that he doesn't really like but he was kind of going back and forth with her. It was a caretaker who came over. So I gave him his ball. There's a like squeeze stress ball. They sell those in the store for everybody can get one of those. But I passed it to him and he's like, oh, thank you. And it's very important. My son is a huge advocate for himself. He speaks up to anybody. So what he said to her, and I heard them going back and forth in the kitchen, and he said to her, listen, I understand that you are annoyed and irritated by doing my hair, but you know, that's too bad, you know, basically. So it wasn't like holding no point. It was like, so, and then I heard him like, oh, and then I heard the woman speak to him. She said, I'm not irritated. I'm not irritated. I'm not irritated. So I could hear her bringing herself down because she was irritated and agitated, but I didn't have to interject because he can advocate for himself. So many times when he's going through something, I shut up. I don't say a word. I wait for him to advocate for himself. If there's a space that I can assist or I feel like I need to, then I will interject. But other than that, Joshua got this. I'm like, you got it. You can speak to people. You're a big person. Whatever doesn't work, you can take care of it. Some other things that he has and other children or people who are on the spectrum like are weighted blankets. It makes them feel grounded. So he has a weighted blanket. It's like 20 pounds and he speaks with it or he loves it. Like you can put that on during the day. It brings calm and it, yeah, and it's a cooling blanket. He loves cooling. Furry blankets, like I know some of the kids at his school, because he does go to a specialized school, and furry things. And it depends on the sensory, because some people don't like furry things. Some people like to put their hands in rice, like bowls of rice, just to rub your fingers through, just to get that sensory input. So a lot of times it's seeking sensory input. So those are things that they may like, and you can ask them, what things that I can get you that you actually might like? Noise canceling headphones, because my son is very reactive also to some loud noises, even though he does play drums, but if drums are being played very loudly, then he doesn't like it. If we go to an African festival, he's older now, so he opts to not even go. He's like, I'm not going there. But when he was younger, he would come and he would just hop on the drums and they would let him play the drums. But he doesn't even come, or if he does have to, he's gonna put on his headphones. Bicycles, because that's great. You get in some action, movement. Horses, horseback riding, being with horses, and trampolines are awesome too. Trampolines. So in my son's school and different schools for children who have special needs or autism, there are sensory rooms. In his school, there's a sensory room. So you can just go in there and pick up whatever there's sensory that's for your need. So awesome. I know I said a mouthful. I want to thank everybody for being here. If there's anybody who has a burning desire to say anything for our last minute, you can totally hop in before we start the meditation. And I'm going to start the meditation so we can just get some nice cleansing energy. You can release and relax whatever may be there for you. If anything triggered you, if anything came up for you, we're just going to release and come into a space of Zen, peace and love, and then you can go to sleep or go to work or go work out and run or whatever it is that you're going to do next. So is there anyone, admin or anyone in Facebook before we move on who can share for a minute?
We have two hands up.
Yeah. Oh,
We have
Okay, wait 1 second. So what we are is, if it's something, so it's going to be, so 1 minute, if you could be just share with velocity. So who
just 1 minute, just one. I can. 1 minute. Am I on? Hello? Yes, they do well with having a schedule. When they know what's gonna happen next, they feel more secure. So if you can get them on a regimen, a routine, it's best for them.
Thank you, Anna. That is great. That is great. And I know even when Anna says they, if there's anybody who feel offense, she's speaking about some people, okay? Because I know sometimes I say they too, and people are like, no, I'm not just saying they, like all people on the spectrum, but some people. So that is very true. We have schedules for everything. My son have a schedule. I have a schedule for everything. I have to have my schedule for everything, and I'm not on the spectrum, and everything is bulleted. But my son has a schedule. He has routines make a huge difference. So thank you for that, Anna. Whatever your child is, you can have that in his space. I actually let my son write his out from the age of about 6 or 7. He writes out his own routine so he can actually, when he's writing it, he sees it. And he does that up to this day, 10 years later. Still, write out your routine, stick to it. Yes. And who else we had?
Kinshasa.
Hello, dear. Yes, Kinshasa.
Just very briefly, I feel that teaching empathy is a very important factor, not just in the situation with autism, but in relationship period. And when you can help a person to, as you said earlier, put yourself in another person's place or empathize with something that they are feeling, experiencing, that it can really help not only that person, but you as well. Somehow what goes around comes around. You, as you become more, I guess you might even call it, empathetic, but also changing positions, exchanging places, being mindful, as you suggested earlier. All those things help you to be a better person as well. And it helps them to understand, I am worthy, I am worthwhile, I have a place in this world, I have a raison d'etre.
Yeah.
Amen.
And Ashe, I love that. Thank you. And that's something we can all take in right into this meditation. So how perfect. So we are going to get ready for our meditation. And if you have an essential oil, you can put a little drop right here in the web of your thumb. And I always say the web of your thumb because this part of your skin is not as, it's more callous, like it's hard. It's the integrity of the skin here is different from just on top of your skin. So the web of your thumb, you can just tap it together, take a deep breath of your oil, and we are going to play our meditation. So as the admin, get ready for the meditation. If you all want to, you can just tell yourself that you're open and receptive. Be open and receptive, and you can say thank you 7 times throughout the meditation, but it's to the Most High, to the Divine. And yeah, you can just shake your bodies up a little bit and get ready for the meditation. So shake it on up, shake it up, pat the body. And thank you all for who stayed. We had to leave from 7:30. So right now, everyone, you can just take a deep breath. I'll be off camera because I'm going to send you some good vibe and energy. So stay right there. You can put your palms facing up and take a deep breath in. So here we go.
Everyone, just gently close your eyes. Become aware of your breath as you take a deep breath in. Exhale and sigh it out. And as you turn your awareness within, I'm going to recite the I Am meditation. And as you recite it silently, or if you say it out loud, just be in tune with your body and imagine a bright light coming from the divine into yourself, coming down through the crown of your head, illuminating every part of your body with a brilliant, beautiful, bright white light, filling up every part of your body, every piece of flesh, every atom, every cell, every organ, every bone, every blood vessel, every single inch of your body. And we will begin. Deep breath in again. Sigh it out. I am that.
Okay, it sounds like it went out, so I will continue it live. So you can repeat after me silently or just continue to be in the space. I am that I am. I am not the body. I am not the emotion. I am not the thoughts. I am not the mind. The mind is just an instrument of the soul. I am the soul. I'm a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am that I am. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God. I am one with all. This is the truth. Regardless of the capacity of the brain to experience the truth. I am that I am. Be still and be aware. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Another deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Just feel your shoulders relax. Feel if you have any wrinkles in the forehead, just feel them relax. Anything that you're holding in between the brows, release it. Remove the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Drop the shoulders. Feel each and every vertebrae just relax down to the sacrum, your thighs, down the front of your thighs, your knees to the back, your calf muscles, down to your heels. Every single toe relaxed. And as you take a deep breath in, just take in the sound to bring a clearing to your mind, your body, and spirit. And take a deep breath in. And you can wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Take a deep breath in. Open your eyes with a big smile. And then wrap your hands around yourself. Hug yourself. Thank yourself for being in this space, for taking time for you, taking time to elevate, to learn, to ascend together as we do here and wake up everybody. transforming our minds, bodies, and spirits. Thank you so much. Press your palms together right in front of your heart center and bow to yourself. And remember to be the change that you want to see in the world. When you hear me say namaste, namaste means that the God in me, the divinity in me, salutes and honors the God and the divinity that resides within you. Namaste. Thank you, beautiful people. So we're going to go into the offer. We're going to go into what's into the offer. Autism is not a disability, it's a different ability. So one participant will receive a 30-minute autism advocacy consultation since it's Autism Awareness Month, and I will give a discount off of any autism coaching packages. Lifestyle coaching, so what you will receive is a 30-minute autism advocacy consultation, lifestyle coaching, Pranic healing, or yoga session. You get a choice between any one of those. I expanded it to have any one of those. For the first person to email Yogisha Stacy at gmail.com, and in the email you will actually write which one of those you would like to redeem. So YOGISHA STACY at gmail.com. Thank you. And my contact, my phone number is there, 347-946-1850, Facebook Yogisha, Instagram at Yogisha1. And my email and website is there below, yogishastacy at gmail.com again. And the flowcode.com, which is in the chat. So if you want to reach me, you want to see what I'm up to, free offerings, click on flowcode.com, and then you can become a part of the mailing list so you can get all the goodies of what's up and coming. And our new monthly automated love offerings. If you would like to give, but you want to give monthly, like sometimes you do at church, you might say, you know what, let me just put this on auto. If you just are here and you're getting all the love and so much that you give, this is why it's a love offering and donation. So you have $25 a month, $50 a month, $75 a month, or $100 a month, and they all, the numbers change at the end. So you have it right here. You can screenshot it, HTTPS, and you have your colon, and then you have your double/bit.ly/WooLove25. And then of course, if it's 50, you put the 50 at the end, 75 or 100. So screenshot that. And next, we have our queen, our creator, Shawnee Benton Gibson. Join us Thursday, which is going to be tomorrow, for Spontaneity, the real superfood. So I'm looking forward to that because I am a spontaneous person and I love it. So that is coming up next for Sister Shawnee. And thank you all for being here. And
thank you so much, Stacy.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. Sip your water, your tea that you have there with you. I'll take over from here. Welcome all new members to the Woo Nation. If today is your first day joining us, please drop it in the chat. We want to acknowledge you for joining us today and invite you to continue to come back with us for each and every day. Welcome to a community where we come to learn, elevate, and ascend. This is the Wake Up Everybody schedule. We're live on Zoom and Facebook 5 days a week, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30. If you would like a notification when it's time to join us on one of these platforms, please text the word Woo Nation in cap locks to 74121. Make sure you shop our swag shop at bit.ly/woo swag. Bit.ly/woo swag. Shop merch, get all of your woo items, especially that journal, so you can keep track of all of the tidbits and juiciness that's dropped on you every day. Thank you. Here is how you stay in touch with us. Register weekly at bit.ly/wake up movement. Join us on Facebook at bit.ly/woo community, which is our private group, or at bit.ly/woo nation, which is our public page. Follow us on Instagram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. Catch clips on YouTube at bit.ly/woo on YouTube. And last and certainly not least, you can always email us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. At this time, I ask all participants still in the space to come off of mute. It is time to rain love and abundance on Miss Stacy Yogisha for sharing her love and knowledge about autism with us today on this Autism Wednesday. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank
Thank you,
you
Stacy,
all.
for your presentation.
brother. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Love you. Love my
I
woo
love y'all,
family.
and let's move forward,
Have a
everybody.
blessed day. Thank you so
But
much for
Stacy,
opening
thank you
our
so much
eyes
for all your love
to
and
autism.
understanding and patience. You
Thank
know,
you.
Thank you,
with
thank you,
this, with
thank
this
you.
subject.
Love y'all,
You
and
know,
let's move forward,
I pray
everybody.
that you
Thank
get all
you.
the fun that can help other people
I
who can't
receive it.
afford
And everybody
the subject.
shake up your bodies. Thank you.
Yeah. Love your
Thank
green
you.
wake
I
up
love
shirt.
y'all.
I have the same one.
Love y'all.
Stay woke.
Love
Stay
y'all.
woke.
Thank
Love you
y'all.
too.
Have a blessed day.
Bye.
Family, just love y'all so much. It's a
Bye
blessing to
Love
bye.
be part of
you.
Love
this Woo
you.
Nation.
Bye.
Woo Nation. Love y'all. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone.
Great
Thank you.
day.